Most Rick heads say they know Rick Owens, but they don't even know why did Dark Shadow just start off as a denim line? Or anything more than just Dark Shadow has consonants in the name and is cheaper than Mainline Rick Owens. But after this video, you'll know what Dark Shadow is, how it started, and the actual differences between Rick Owens Mainline and Rick Owens Dark Shadow. My name is Naughty Swege, and I break down designer menswear history. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're already subscribed, welcome back. To understand Dark Shadow, you have to understand the man behind it, Rick Owens. And Rick Owens started his brand in 1994 in a small studio in Hollywood Boulevard, supported by his wife and muse, Michelle Lamy. He gained cult status for his asymmetrical shapes and mix of luxury and grunge aesthetics. In 2001, he moved production to Italy and eventually relocated his studio to Paris, where he became one of fashion's most influential visionaries. Rick Owens remains one of the few designers to stay independent for over 26 years in a world dominated by massive conglomerates, or just massive fashion brands. Be sure to check out this video I made going in depth about Rick Owens and his Mainline brand when you're done with this one. It's linked in the description up there, and it'll be in the end card. Now, one of the reasons why Rick Owens has been able to stay independent for so long is because he released Rick Owens Dark Shadow in 2005 as a diffusion line to his Mainline label. It began specifically as a denim line, but quickly evolved it to incorporate more streetwear-oriented staples, including hoodies, sweats, and iconic sneakers like Ramones. Now, if you're wondering why did Dark Shadow just start off as a denim line and not as a full diffusion line, I am glad you asked. And that's because before Rick Owens Dark Shadow, Rick had already released a denim line in the early 2000s named SLAB. While SLAB almost exclusively focused on specialized washes and denim, Rick Owens replaced it with Dark Shadow to broaden the range of street-ready staples. Due to SLAB's archival status, SLAB garments have seen a significant price increase in the resale market. For example, pieces that once sold for $150 can now command upwards of $600. And now that we covered why Dark Shadow started off with just denim, we can go into the actual differences between Rick Owens Mainline and Rick Owens Dark Shadow. Now, the Mainline Rick Owens focuses on precise tailoring, luxury fabrics, and the cuts of the clothes. His work is a series of balancing order with chaos and brutality with refinement. Dark Shadow translates this into something that Rick Owens calls approachable avant-garde, into more practical street-ready garments that serve as an entry point to a broader audience, like other diffusion lines, such as MM6 for Mason Margiela, Essentials for Fear of God, and Y3 for Yohji Yamamoto. Now, in simple terms, that just means Dark Shadow is a more budget-friendly alternative to Rick Owens, kind of like great value, with pieces typically ranging from $120 to $600 compared to $800 to $3,000, making it so people feel more comfortable wearing Rick Owens daily. Dark Shadow is built from durable everyday materials like organic cotton, heavy jersey, and nylon, making it easier to wash than the premium leathers that Rick uses in his main line. Even the footwear often swaps cotton canvases for innovative EVA materials to keep the shoes lightweight. In the larger Rick Owens ecosystem, Mainline is a primary runway-driven and high-concept line. It is used to showcase experimental and sculptural designs that change the person's silhouette. In contrast to Rick Owens, Dark Shadow, where it focuses on repeatable shapes that support the daily lifestyle rather than runway complexity. However, certain Dark Shadow pieces have crossed over. For example, the Ramones, inspired by the band The Ramones and the classic Chuck Taylor sneaker. Dark Shadow has also expanded its reach through massive collaborations. Dark Shadow had its first collab with Eastpak in 2009. Rick Owens co-designed a series of waxed canvas backpacks and duffels under the Dark Shadow line. These utilized the revolutionary welding techniques for a streamlined look and included Dark Shadow branded lanyards and coin purses. The next collab was with Converse in 2021. Now with Converse, this is when he finally let them into the Dark Shadow line. Starting with Turbo Dark Chuck 70, which debuted in January 2021, featuring a distinctive squared toe and elongated tongue. Then Turbo Pin, a mutation of the Converse Weapons basketball silhouette, later released in 2021. And to finish off the Converse collabs, they released Dark Star, High, and Ox. These models fused Rick Owens Ramones with Converse All-Stars. Now the next brand Dark Shadow did a collab with was Doc Martens in 2021. And it is with the Dark Shadow Quad Sole Pentagram Jumbo Lace Boots. And then Converse again in 2023. This collab released the Double Dark Star Chuck 70. So what are the actual differences? Mainline Rick Owens is a high runway fashion driven line that uses experimental sculpture pieces, and Dark Shadow is a diffusion line meant for daily wear with a cheaper price point for people who aren't sure if they want to drop $3K on some pants, but they're more willing to spend a couple hundred just to try it out and see if they like Rick Owens. Or if they already know they like Rick Owens, they get that taste again, but with a cheaper price point, which means cheaper quality. Not cheap as in trashy quality, but just lower quality. Just think not high-end leather pants, more like denim pants. And if you're interested in getting your hands on some Rick Owens or Rick Owens Dark Shadow, I've got you covered. Thanks to our sponsor, eBay. eBay has let me curate collections of Rick Owens and Rick Owens Dark Shadow pieces. That way, you guys don't have to do so much hunting. I'll even have a collection of SLAB. Just click the link in the description and the pieces are there for you. Rick Owens Dark Shadow represents a gateway into the Rick Owens universe. By offering a gateway into his world, Rick Owens has created a way for everyone to participate in the fashion philosophy of one of the most unique minds in modern history. Now you know what Rick Owens Dark Shadow is, the history behind it, and the differences between Rick Owens Dark Shadow and Mainline Rick Owens. If you like this video, please press that like button and subscribe button. It'll only take you like 5 seconds, and that way I know you like these type of videos, and you know when I drop another one of these videos. But until then, stay smooth, stay hydrated. Peace.